children, let us continue our lesson. So in the topic that is nutrition in human beings. So how the process of nutrition is going to happen in our body, that we are going to discuss. So yesterday you learned about the different parts which are associated with the digestion and what are the different steps or important functions carried out by the digestive system we learned. So now let us recall the parts of digestive system once and that how the food is passing from one part to the other part through flow chart. So now food it enters into the mouth. From mouth the food is going to enter into buccal cavity. From buccal cavity the food is entering into pharynx. From pharynx it enters into stomach. From the stomach the food enters into small intestine. From small intestine it enters into large intestine. Then rectum and anus. Finally, here the small intestine is associated with the important glands. So one is said to be liver, then pancreas. So this is the flow chart of a human digestive system and how the food is going to be entering from one part to the other part. So food procurement of food is going to happen and we are going to keep the food into the mouth, different food items. Then for mouth means here different parts are present in the mouth. So the cavity like structure which we observe, the lower jaw and upper jaw, teeth and cheeks, then gums, etc. All that will form the buccal cavity. Buccal cavity or oral cavity. So the food which reaches the buccal cavity with the help of teeth, tongue and other parts, the food after the just crushing of the food it enters into the pharynx. Then from pharynx it reaches the stomach. From the stomach into the small intestine. Small intestine is associated with the glands, liver and pancreas. They are also going to release some secretions into the small intestine where the food is going to be further digested. Then from small intestine it enters into large intestine, then rectum and anus. So this is the flow chart, children. So how the process is going to be just facilitated, that we have to learn now in this class. So if we observe the process of digestion, how it is going to happen, and so here digestion, what do you mean by digestion? Means the process of conversion of complex food items into simple form by the action of digestive enzymes in the alimentary canal is called digestion. And after digestion the food has to be entering into the other parts. So what you can understand here, other part means what? Other system it is going to be entering. So we know that in human body different systems are present. Is it not, children? Like digestive system you are learning about. Then after the process of digestion, the food is going to enter into the blood, means that is transport system. Then from the transport system it is transported to each and every cell, so like that. Then in the cell absorption is going to happen like that. Is it clear to you? Then the waste materials which are produced, they are going to be eliminated. So like that here different systems are associated with the process of digestion. Is it clear to you? So first let us start with the buccal cavity. So now passes of food through buccal cavity. So now in the mouth what is happening? In the buccal cavity what is happening? Buccal cavity, what changes are going to happen? Okay, so once the food, when we keep in the mouth, with the help of teeth we are going to crush the food, we are going to grind the food. So different items we are going to eat or not. So all these different kinds of food items, after certain period of time they are going to be broken into small pieces. Is it not, children? As it chapati, it won't be there like that, or idli, it won't be there like that. It will be broken into smaller molecules like. So how it is going to happen? With the help of teeth which are present in lower jaw and upper jaw. Then next is said to be the glands are present in the buccal cavity. So what are those glands present in the buccal cavity? So salivary glands are there. Salivary glands are present in the buccal cavity. So one pair below the tongue and one pair near the neck region, and another pair is present very much roof of the, that is palate. Okay, very much back portion of the buccal cavity we observe three pairs of salivary glands. So the salivary glands, what do they do? The salivary glands are going to secrete a digestive enzyme. So what is the digestive enzyme whichever is secreted by the salivary glands? So our digestive juice, first I will write. So digestive juice is secreted by salivary glands. So this digestive juice is said to be amylase, or full form salivary amylase. Why it is called salivary amylase? Because it is produced by the salivary glands. Is it clear to children? In the buccal cavity, the food whatever we are going to keep, or we are going to just start eating, what is happening? With the help of teeth and the salivary glands which are secreting a digestive juice, salivary juice, and this salivary juice contains enzyme called now salivary amylase. Okay, so salivary amylase is the digestive enzyme which is present in the salivary juice or saliva simply, which is secreted by salivary glands present in the buccal cavity. So they are going to produce this salivary juice. Because of that only the mouth will be kept always wet in nature, and whenever you feel a food or whenever you get thought of food, so what will happen means we observe watering of the mouth. Is it not, children? So that is because of which is said to be a what is that reflex action, that salivary glands are going to secrete saliva. Is it clear to children? So whatever the different types of food items we are going to keep in the mouth, with the help of teeth they are going to be crushed or grind or made into small pieces, and they are going to be acted by salivary amylase. Is it clear to you? So what is going to happen because of that? The food is going to become little bit soft. Okay, little bit soft. Why it has to happen? So further part of buccal digestive system we see. So this is a narrow tube. So as it is chapati or other food solid items, they cannot pass through easily such a small narrow tube. So because of that, what is happening means changes are going to happen in the buccal cavity itself. Is it clear to children? So this salivary amylase. So what kind of food items or what nutrient of the food is getting or is started with the digestion, means that salivary amylase is acting on the carbohydrates and they are going to be converted to little bit sugars. Is it clear? That is the reason any kind of food item, if we grind or masticate, even raw rice or boiled rice or chapati or idli, so after crushing or mashing, when it mixes with saliva, we feel somewhat little sweet taste. So how we are getting that sweet taste of food means that is because of the carbohydrate content whichever is present in the food is acted by salivary amylase, then that results in giving the sweet taste. Is it clear to children? So now the process of here crushing, grinding the food and masticating, and the processes whichever are happening in the buccal cavity with the help of the salivary juice, that process is called as mastication. So it is given for 1 mark or 2 marks, children. What do you mean by mastication? The process of crushing, grinding, chewing, then making the food into simple form, soft form little bit, so that with the help of teeth, gums, teeth, then digestive juices which are secreted by salivary glands, so that will be called as a mastication, which is said to be the first step in the process of digestion. Is it clear to children? I hope you understood. So now this salivary amylase is also called as ptyalin. Is it clear to you? Salivary amylase is also called as a ptyalin, which is secreted by the salivary glands present in salivary juice, and it will act on carbohydrate part and changes to little bit soft form. So that conversion of a complex form of food into the simple form in the buccal cavity, which is acted by the salivary amylase. What do we call that food? Which is made easy to pass into the next part, esophagus. That one we call it as a bolus. Very important. What do you mean by bolus, children? The soft, not too much, so little bit soft mass of food whichever is formed in the buccal cavity after the processes. So what kind of processes are going to happen, children? Grinding, masticating, chewing, etc. are going to happen or not with the action of salivary amylase. So that one is called as a bolus. So what is the use of bolus here? So the food is little bit very much soft and slimy, so that what will happen means from the buccal cavity the food is easily entering into the esophagus. So this narrow tube-like structure which we observe is said to be esophagus. So into this phagus the small little quantities. So all at a time whatever it is there in the plate, we are not going to keep in the mouth. So little quantity of food just we are going to swallow. Is it not, children? So whichever is crushed or ground or masticated. So that small quantity of food which is said to be here bolus. So the bolus from this part it enters into the esophagus, and so here the esophagus is said to be a narrow tube-like structure which is made up of longitudinal and circular muscles Okay, longitudinal and circular muscles are there. So the esophagus, what it will do means when the food is passing, it is going to be just allowing the food little portions into the stomach. Is it clear to children? So into the stomach little quantity of food is going to enter because of a wave-like action. Wave-like action whichever is happening in the muscle tissue, okay, which is present in the, so this narrow tube-like structure. So that type of movement, what do we call? It is called as a peristaltic movement. Peristaltic movement. So without any disturbance, the food is going to enter into the stomach. Is it clear to children? So the changes whichever are happening in the stomach, you learn. In the buccal cavity, you have learned. So what do you call the soft mass whichever is formed after grinding or crushing the food in the buccal cavity? That is called as the bolus. So the bolus easily it enters into the stomach through the narrow tube which we call it as esophagus. Is it clear to children? So little quantity of food. So because of this, the muscles which are present, already I said just now, circular and so the tube if we see, so we have circular muscles like this and all the way longitudinal muscles are also present. So they are going to contract and relax. So in a rhythmic manner, the contraction and relaxation is going to happen in the esophagus, which helps in passing the food into the stomach of a little quantity. Is it clear to children? So that one wave-like movement is called as a peristaltic movement. Is it clear to children? So what will happen is, suppose if that process is not happening. So sometimes the inconvenience will be observed. Is it not children? So then it results in some choking sensation when the food from the buccal cavity, it has to enter into the digestive system or food pipe, that is pharynx. If it enters into the larynx, then again it will be problem only. In Telugu it is called Poromoindi antar chudandi, like this their parents will do. Is it not children? Our elders will do, somebody is thinking of you like that, they will tell. Is it not children? That is the reason when we are taking food, we are not supposed to talk unnecessarily. Is it clear to you? So without any disturbance, the food has to enter into the other parts. Is it clear to children? Other part means here other parts of the digestive system. Is it clear to children? So here what are the points you have to remember? What do you mean by mastication? What are the different parts present in the buccal cavity? So you have learned different parts of the buccal cavity. So lower jaw and upper jaw. The teeth are arranged in the gums. Then we have 3 pairs of salivary glands in the buccal cavity which are going to produce salivary juice, which is having an enzyme called salivary amylase or ptyalin. And another important part is there, muscular organ we can observe, that is tongue. Is it clear? So all these parts, what do? They are going to make the food to move this side and that side, up and down. The tongue is going to help in that way. And the teeth are going to help to cut the food, grind the food or masticate the food or chewing the food. It is going to happen. So now whatever food items we are keeping in the buccal cavity, they are ground or chewed by the action of salivary juice. They are going to be changed to some other simple form. So after that process, whichever is happening in the buccal cavity by the salivary glands, secretions and crushing, grinding, whichever is happening, that is called mastication, and the resulting food, whatever we are getting, whichever is formed by the action of ptyalin or salivary amylase, is called as a bolus. Is it clear to children? So bolus is a little bit soft. It will make the food to pass through the esophagus into stomach by the peristaltic movement. Is it clear to you? So that we learned. So now what are the changes happening in the next part of the digestive system. That we have to learn. Is it not, children? So now if we come to that next part, so the soft mass of food whichever is formed in the buccal cavity, it entered into the stomach. So now if we observe once again this diagram, so it is esophagus. So now we have stomach. Is it clear to you? So stomach is said to be a muscular organ. Okay. What are the changes happening in the stomach? Whatever the food which reached there through this esophagus. So stomach is said to be a muscular organ. Okay. And the walls of the stomach also are having deep glands. So what do we call the glands which are present in the stomach? So glands present in the stomach are called as gastric glands. Gastric glands. So here the walls of this stomach, they are having large number of gastric glands, and they are going to secrete a digestive juice. So what is the digestive juice? Gastric juice. Okay. What is the digestive juice called, children? Secreted by the gastric glands means gastric juice. So gastric juice is secreted by the gastric glands of the stomach, and these gastric glands contain the different kinds of enzymes. Is it clear to children? So what are that enzymes present? Pepsin. Is it clear to you? So this gastric glands contain enzyme called pepsin. Pepsin. It is an enzyme. You may get a doubt, what are enzymes like? So enzymes are said to be chemicals which are acting as biological catalysts. Biological catalyst means what? In the living system, living organism, some enzymes are produced by glands. Is it clear to children? So what do they do? Catalyst means, you know, in physical science you learnt chemistry part. Okay, in the preparation of oxygen, like KMNO4 is acting as a catalyst. Is it not? So what it will do? Catalyst will never take part in the reaction, but it speeds up the rate of reaction. So at faster rate, the processing of that chemical reaction is going to happen. So that is called as catalyst. So here also biological catalyst. Enzymes means what? Biological catalyst. What do? They help in the process of digestion or respiration or any other life process happening in our body. Is it clear to children? So gastric glands which are present in the walls of stomach produce gastric juice which contains enzyme called pepsin. Along with gastric juice, other important substance is also produced by the stomach, that is HCl, hydrochloric acid. So these two are going to be produced by the walls of the stomach. Is it clear to children? And bolus, the little quantity of small portions of the bolus entered into the stomach, and afterwards here whatever the sphincter muscles are there, they are going to be closed, and means valve like structures will be present. They allow food to be present in only in one direction. So then what will happen means maximum time the food is going to be which entered from the buccal cavity through esophagus is staying in the stomach, and where the food is getting churning. Okay, is it clear children? All mixing of the food is going to happen by the action of pepsin and hydrochloric acid. I hope you understood. Is it clear to children? So bolus which reached the stomach is getting churned because of the muscle tissue. Involuntary movement is happening, like that you learnt in 9th class. So that movement is happening and churning of food is going to happen. Okay. So whatever the different types of food items we are eating, after the food in the stomach, it stays for 4 to 5 hours. Then what will happen means we are not going to identify it is chapati or idli or dosha like that. So all the food items are going to be acted or churned and totally their nature will be changed. Is it clear to children? So the food whichever is formed by churning in the stomach by the action of this pepsin and hydrochloric acid. So what do we call that food whichever is formed is called as a chyme. Very important. So chyme is formed in the stomach, whereas bolus is formed after the or at the end of mastication or grinding or chewing before it enters into the esophagus. Is it clear to children? Whereas chyme is formed after churning the food. Is it clear to children? Then now what is the use of hydrochloric acid? First I will explain. Okay. So you know that hydrochloric acid, concentrated acid is produced in our body. So if whatever cleaning acids which you brought in your homes, so if the cells are just what is that? If that acid, if it falls on the body, we observe that cells burning. Is it not, children? But it is not happening in our body like that. Is it clear to you? In the stomach it is not happening there like that. So why? Because the stomach is getting protected here by other type of glands called mucus glands, which are secreting a sticky substance called mucus. Okay. Now what is the action of hydrochloric acid? So that hydrochloric acid is going to help in rendering the medium of the food. Okay. Medium of the food will be changed, acidic to basic. The digestion of food goes on and the protein content will be broken down and that acid to base means neutralization is going to happen. Too much of acidic concentration or too much of basic concentration, it is not good. Is it clear? So neutral it should be. So that neutralization of the food is going to happen, that is because of hydrochloric acid. Apart from that, any harmful bacteria or any pathogens when they enter by chance, when the food is entering into the food, suppose some fruits or vegetables, if we go to market we eat without cleaning them. So the pathogens may enter into our body, okay, which are responsible for different kinds of infections. So the pathogens will be killed by the action of hydrochloric acid. Is it clear to you? So the main function in the digestion of food because of HCl is said to be neutralization is going to happen. Okay. What is meant by neutralization? Acid and base, when they are going to react with each other, salts and water are formed. So here also too much of acid concentration or basic concentration, it should not be should not happen. So that process is going to be maintained, that is because of hydrochloric acid. Is it clear to children? So neutralization is going to happen. Is it clear to you? Then the pepsin enzyme whichever is produced by the gastric, whichever is present in the gastric juice, it is going to. So the gastric juice which contains pepsin, which is said to be an enzyme, it will act on protein part. Proteins. So we are going to eat proteins also, no children? Protein content like pulses we are going to consume and different milk products we are eating, and that is fish, eggs, chicken, all these contain rich source of proteins, no children? So the proteins are going to be broken down. How that process of breaking down of proteins is happening in the stomach? That is because of a pepsin enzyme. Is it clear to children? So now the pepsin enzyme will act on proteins and convert them into peptones. So the proteins will be converted to simple form called peptones. Is it clear to children? So now after the process of conversion of proteins to peptones and the other part of carbohydrate whichever is just digested, which reached the stomach, it forms very much slurry slurry mass, porridge in nature, and that mass of food is going to enter into the next part of the digestive system. So here next part of this stomach. So it enters into the duodenum. Duodenum is a U-shaped tube. U-shaped tube. Is it clear to children? U-shaped tube. Is it clear to you? Then where the further process of digestion is going to happen. So that we will continue tomorrow. And what is the action of pancreatic juice? And so here duodenum, it is going to be, so pancreas and even liver also, another gland, it is going to be releasing its secretions into the stomach only. Is it clear to children? Everybody understood? So what is the action of the secretions of liver and secretions of pancreas, that we will discuss tomorrow. So in this class what you have learnt means, so what do you call the first step of digestion? That is said to be mastication. What do you mean by mastication? Then what do you mean by chyme? Then what do you mean by what do you mean by bolus, and what do you mean by chyme, and what are the uses of hydrochloric acid? Okay, what is the use of hydrochloric acid? Apart from that, here the glands associated with the part of digestion till we completed. So salivary glands, then gastric glands. Is it clear to children? So about two glands and their secretions, that is enzymes, salivary juice secreted by salivary glands, and gastric juice secreted by stomach. Is it clear to you? And the enzyme present in salivary amylase is salivary amylase or ptyalin, which is going to act on carbohydrate part of the diet, and pepsin present in the gastric juice will act on the protein content of our diet and convert it into peptones. Is it clear to children? So what is chyme? So these are the important questions for today's class. You have to remember them. And what are the action of bile juice and pancreatic juice, that we will discuss tomorrow. Is it clear to you? You guys followed children? Very good.